Okay, so I'm here with the deck tech on my Delver deck. Uh it's mono blue with the splash of white for the sideboard cards and Moreland Haunt. So I'm gonna go over the deck. Two mental missteps, four thought scours, four vapor snags, four delvers, four ponders, four Gitaxian probes, one mutagenic growth, three gut shots, two mana leaks, three augur bolas, two rune chanter spikes, two phantasmal images, four snapcaster mages, three talrands, three glacial fortresses, four Seachrome Coast, two Moreland Haunts, and then just 9 islands. Um, the reason I run this version over the Snapcaster version, I mean the Geist of Saint Shaft version, is because I think just Tolerant's much more powerful creature in the mirror. Like, they're both very powerful in the mirror. I just think making a bunch of Drakes, it's easier for them to go block, Vapor Snag the Angel, Cool Story Bro, rather than Vapor Snag one of your 16 tokens and just kill you. So like, and I like Tolerant a lot more personally. So in the sideboard, I run two Dissipates for the control me. I'm gonna go over the sideboard and why I have the cards in there, of course, but for mostly the control mirrors and the or against control and the not the mirror, the elves matchup to counter a Crater Hoof. Two Steel Sabotages for against swords decks, for against like stuff with like Mortar Pod and Birthing Pod, and just it hits a lot of things. So you know it gets there. It does what it's supposed to. One Feeling of Dread. Um, it's really just for elves. It's the only reason it's in here, and it's for I bring it in usually against Naya, so they can't kill me just randomly on a turn. But I like the card, and just a lot of people at the store I go to are starting to play elves, so like it taps down their Archdruid for a turn. So then I have two Celestial Purges. Um, for zombies, like it's for decks literally just for Messenger and Gravecaller and Blood Artist. Like those are the three problem cards in that deck, and just need a way to get rid of them. So and you bring it in against um, certain pod list if you feel comfortable with it. If you see that they run high red counts, because like Huntmaster is annoying and uh, Inferno 10 is very annoying after it hits you a couple times. So I run two Caverns in the sideboard. That basically comes in against Control and Delver. Bad Delver players, because good Delver players know to take out the mana leaks. Um, yeah. We usually bring in, uh, two cards that we haven't gotten to in the Delver matchup, but like you take out 2 islands for this card, and it just usually does just really good, and you know, it helps play the the 4 angels we sideboard in, because in the Naya and things like that, where a 3/4 can go a long way, and blinking your stuff is never bad with pikes in play, and it can fly over everything. And I'm borrowing a couple of these from a friend, but thanks to him, um, I have them all here right now, and they've been underperforming. I used to think this was one of the best cards in the format, and now I see that it's really not. It's just you don't want to always have to sideboard this in. Like you sideboard it in like 2 matchups, and zombies and against Naya. So like you never because like your 4 drop you want to always be talrand, because talrand is just so powerful. And then for the blue white mirror against the blue white Delver deck, you take out mana leaks and you put in dismembers, and that's because every good Delver player knows that mana leaks just awful. All their spells cost 2. Like unless you think that they're raining the 4 Snapcasters, the 4 Blade Splicers, and the 4 Restoration Angels, you should just cut the mana leaks. Like you're not gonna hit any of their big spells, and you just want to be proactive against them, and you won't put pressure on the Delver decks. And this helps put pressure. They play an angel and you dismember it. You can just it does the job. It gets rid of just really big problems for you, and like it's dismember. Like you should always just run them in your sideboard because you can. Like they're a removal spell. So yeah. Uh the sideboard changes because I'm taking this to the Star City that's happening in Denver. Um I'm taking out the Feeling of Dread for an extra gut shot, and I'm taking out not dismember, sorry. Me not that. I'm most likely going to be taking out an angel for a gut shot, mental misstep, because there's so many this is one of the formats where 1 drops have really defined it. You have Birds of Paradise, you have Llanowar Elves, you have Delver's Secrets, you have Ponder, you have Vapor Snag, you have Thought Scour. You just have all these things that turn 1 you play them, and it helps accelerate your deck or helps you win the game. And Mental Misstep and Gutshot kill both of those, and it can kill stuff holding pikes. It can hold stuff that's about to be equipped. It can kill Moreland Haunt tokens, and it can help build your tolerant up. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it yet, but that's what I'm most likely going to do right before the Star City. I just feel comfortable with these cards at the FNMs because FNM is not as big of tournaments. They're like the poor man's opens and stuff. So like Feeling of Dread's not going to be bad there because like there's not every player who goes to FNMs is going to be like the best player in the world. Like you can make misplays at FNMs and still win the match. Like that's the best thing about FNMs. But like this deck, I lost to Wolf Run, Brug Wolf Run. One of my friends built at our FNM, and very close match. He top decked the land to Wolf Run for game, and yeah, so like that was really crappy. And then we played, and then I lost. I drew with someone because we wanted to play Legacy on our Wednesday night tournaments. Um, but like I've been playing this deck a lot in the mirror, and I've won every match in the mirror. Um, so like I know the deck is good in the mirror, and you just have to have an understanding for the mirror if you're really worried about that. It has a good matchup against Snipod. It's a little flimsy against elves. That's why I have the one Feeling of Dread in sideboard. But you just like the deck is a guessing game. Like you ponder and you just have to guess what you're gonna draw, like what you're gonna need, and like just hope that the Delver flips finally. So like yeah, it's a lot of guessing games, but I like the deck. Used to hate the deck, but I like it now. So um, if you're gonna run a form of Delver and you don't want to fight Geisty Saint Traps, I would get this version because this version's so much more sweeter than the blue red and the blue green. I don't like the Corian Dryad version. I personally don't like it. I think it's a good deck, but I played it and it sucked. So don't like if you don't like Delver, you don't like Delver. If you like Delver, you like Delver. It's just don't think you can pick up this deck and just do good. You're gonna have to play test it. You have to have an understanding of how to play things and how to understand the deck and how to understand what other people's deck main purpose is. Because if you don't understand, like if you see them drop a turn one, you know, turn two pod and you ponder, you're gonna need to get the cards that helps defeat pod. Like you don't want. It's mostly a guessing game with the deck. Like you don't want to if you don't understand the format and you don't understand what other people are trying to do, I would not pick up a Delver deck and suggesting it. Um, Usually I try to do sweet homebrews. Like I made up a elf list that was pretty sweet, but I stopped running that because I was tired of playing really decks that just die to one deck in the format. And Delver doesn't do that. Delver doesn't just lay over and say, well, this matchup I will lose game one. It doesn't do that to any deck. It is actually pretty strong against every deck in game one. Game two, every deck has the exact same chance of beating any other deck that they don't have a good chance of beating. Um, but if you have any suggestions for cards in the sideboard, I'd like to hear them. Um, Again, it's the 18 land version, so like I didn't run the extra Glacial Fortress main board, but I'm probably taking Augur Bolus out for a Geisty Saint Trap because Geisty Saint Trap is randomly good. Like it's not always good. People who say it's always good are usually wrong, and like just Augur Bolus is really good in the match where Geisty Saint Trap is really bad, which is the 9 matchup. So like I'm willing to sacrifice my matchup there for a matchup against like a control deck where I randomly top deck it and it's a boss or just randomly have to legend roll them out. Yeah, so if you have anything to say about the deck or any sideboard cards that I can switch to, please leave a comment, and thanks for watching.